Hi friends, what's this Tkinter application? Here we can enter the student ID. Say I am entering 5 here. This is backend, it connects to MySQL database. So we have a student table there and I am just entering the ID to and clicking the show details. So once these details are shown, you can see that it's on a label, the details are shown, and same time we have also added one tree view. So the details in a tabular format, the ID, name, class, mark and gender of that particular record is displayed. Now earlier we have also seen how it is displayed on a label. This time we will understand that how this tree view is inserted and data is taken from the database and displayed in this tree view. We'll start from here. This is our blank Tkinter template. So you can see here we have this is our parent window, then height and width of the window we have set it. You can change it based on your requirement, and you will just discuss little bit about the layout, placing the label, component and entry and all. So and you can, if you know already the layout, you can skip the initial part. So we'll first place the label here, L1 equal to tk.label. So this is what we will tell to our that what you have to input. So we'll say the input the ID. So here my_w, my parent window. Now what should be the text? It should say that enter student ID, or whatever text you want, you can write it here. Now slightly width of 25 will give. Now this will place it on our grid. So L1.grid row equal to 1 will start, because it's a relative, so it starts from 0 or 1, it doesn't matter, but only thing is next row will be one increment. So column equal to 1. So we have placed the label. Now below that the right of that will place the entry box. So that is where we will be taking the user input. E1 we are giving tk.entry. Now my_w is my parent window. Now what should be the width of it? Its width we have to numeric IDs only will collect. So let's give 4. Now bz equal to yellow. So slightly different background we are giving. Now this is what, then font is slightly higher size font we will give 22. So this is what we have used for our entry. Let's place it on our grid. So this is right of our grid row, same row but right of our label. So we'll say column equal to, it must be 2. Now this slightly paddx will give paddx of, let's say 5, because gap will maintain from the label. Now let's come to our button, or we can do, okay, let it be here, the paddx. It's all the same, it doesn't matter. Let's come back to our button. Let's press the submit button, B1. Now tk.button. Now here is my parent window, my_w. Now text, what should be on the button, what should be written? So details, you can write whatever you want. Now we'll give width equal to, slightly we are restricting the width of it, 15, and bz, or the background is red. So we'll say bz equal to red. Now here let's move to the next line. Now this button, when you click this button, it must do something. It should trigger a function. So that will write it. So we'll say command equal means once I am clicking this, what should happen? Lambda. Now this lambda I will say my details. My details is the function name I am specified, and E1 dot get. What this E1 dot get means, here the entry name is E1. So whatever the data is there entered in the entry, collect that data and that will hold it here. That as a parameter we are passing to the function my details, but we have so far not written that function. So that is why it's showing an error. So now what I will do, I will just say diff my details. Now here the value is ID, so I am writing it ID. I will receive whatever this E1 get or the ID entered by the user, I will get it here. Now I will say pass. Okay, I will write it later. Now the button I have not placed in the grid. Before I forget that, I should do that grid. Now where is this one? Now row equal to 1, because it is the right of the label. So entry and all. So row equal to 1 and column equal to, I am giving it a little width here 4, and paddx equal to 5, and pad y equal to 20. Fine, it is all the this are there, and we also decided that we should display a label, so the data will be displayed on a label also. So for that purpose, let me just declare a string variable, because this string variable I will connect to my label. So once I update the string variable, the same data will be reflected on the label. So I am MySTR is the variable name tk.stringvar. If you are, what is a stringvar, we have a complete tutorial on that stringvar. So I can, once I update this string variable, automatically my output will change on the label. So this will be connected to a label. Now once I am declaring this, why not to give a value here? So what I will do, my stringvar, I am specifying a value here. Value is equal to output here. So I am giving this value directly, a default value, what will be displayed on the label. Now let me just come to the label L2. L2 equal to tk dot label. Now my underscore w, it's my parent window. Now here the text variable I will connect to MySTR, because this is where I am displaying it. Now what should be my width? Width equal to, I am giving a slightly bigger width here, 30. Then foreground is FG, or foreground equal to red. Now this is, and slightly higher size font I will use also, font equal to 16. So this is the output I will be displaying on a label. In addition to that, same output also should go to our tree view also. So L2 dot grid, I am placing it on a grid. So row equal to 3, column equal to 1, and I am giving more span to it, width to it. So column span, let it the column be span 2. So that's all, my layout is complete. Let's just save this and see how this looks. So here it is. You can see here, enter ID. Here I will enter the ID, whatever I say, 4 or anything. Then show detail. Now nothing will happen because we have not coded anything. We'll start writing our handling the function, so the collecting the data. But before that, we need to connect to our database. So what I am doing here, I am just pasting 3 lines of code. Just see here, I am importing the SQLAlchemy, and if you are using a different driver also, no problem, you use that. So and here I am second line, I am this error handling I am using, though I will not be using it here, but it's a good practice that you keep the, so try catch block, try except block, whatever you use, you can use it. Now here I am passing my, here is the user ID, this is the password, and you can give your database name here. So then I am creating this, you call it as connection string or connection object, whatever it is. This variable will name will keep it constant, so you can easily switch over to other database also. Even you can use SQLite or other database, so it's the same code below the code will work. Now I have connected. Now let my connection string be there. Now let's work inside this function. This function is triggered. Once again, this function is triggered once I have, where is my button? Here you see this particular one. So once I am clicking this button, this will read the E1 get or whatever data I have entered in the entry box, that data, and it pass it here. That I will capture it by this whole placeholder, or sorry, this ID. So this ID I am having, this holds the value what the user has entered. Now let me write it. What I am going to do is first creating one more variable, val int id. Why I am doing this? Because the user may enter something in a character also. Say A, B, C, D he has entered. Now here it will generate an error, because I am not supposed, I have to enter a ID, it's an integer value. So this at this stage the error will be, because it will not able to convert it to an integer. Int function converts the input to a integer, so it will generate error. So I can use a try and catch method and do that. We are not discussing much on the try catch, but let this be there so we know it is a integer. Now what I will create a data list, but here it is only one data, but always it's a good practice create a data list, because tomorrow you may extend this to introduce a name, class, other data to pass it along with the ID. So I am just recreating a list of it. If you have something else, you can also add it, name or anything, other variable. So let it be a list, my data. So now why I am created a my data, we'll just shortly will see that. Now after this line, we'll create our query. So query, it's a variable name only. I am writing it here, select star. Star means all the columns from student. Student is my database table. You have the SQL dump in the description. You can create your sample table also. Around 35 records are there. So where ID equal to, now here I am using a placeholder. Why I am using a placeholder, and I am passing a parameterized query. Parameterized query means query and data both are goes to the database separately. Why it is required is to simple. Its answer is to prevent the injection attack, because this data I am taking a user input. User can enter anything. While sending to a database, I will say, look, this is not the query. This is the query is separate, data is separate. Don't treat data as a part of the query. While executing, you do that. That is to prevent the injection attack. Some other time we'll discuss more about what is the injection attack. So now let me execute it. My row equal to my connection. What is my connection? My connection is at the line number 18 above. Here I am connected to the database. Now this execute. Now here while execute command I am giving, I am passing two separately. Query just above line, the query is, and my data. My data is the the values or the parameters values we are passing it. So these two are going separately to the database. Now the term is what database is going to return to me. It returns, I am just storing it in a variable name student, because I am expecting a single row of data from the database. It's a tuple actually. So what I will say, my row, thus fetch 1, because I am expecting a single record only. But here one more thing, this will return me a tuple. Instead of a tuple, there is a reason for that, because then the tree view while displaying, if you are only label, there is no problem, can directly display a tuple. I will just convert this to a list. What I am doing it here, I am saying list. So now this student is a list for me, not a tuple. Otherwise, while displaying, you can use a tuple also. We'll check so far how our database connection is and how the data are displaying really or not, but we have not added the tree view. So let's just, for that purpose, we'll update our label what you have created, and note that MySTR is the text variable which is connected to our display label. So there this data should reflect. So for that, MySTR.set, because it's a string variable, so you have to use a set method to assign value to it. So now we have given our whatever the output is there. Now you just see here text variable, here we have connected to MySTR. Now this once I am let's first run this and see how this is displaying our data or not. Now here it is output, here is the default, here we are expecting our data to be displayed. So let me just put 5 years, show details. Now no attribute, fetch 1. Okay, here I am slightly did a mistake here, fetch ONE. Okay, so let's just running it again. That error is there at the bottom of the screen. Now let me just put it 5. So I am giving, you can see here the output has come. So this is the same output we'll use in our tree view. We have to use TTK because tree view is a part of our TTK. So from TK import TTK. So tree view we are using, so you have to import this. And now let's come here. Fine. So you can also give a print command here. Okay, let's just first, because in the tree view we also have to display the headers. It is not that only data. So ID, name, column. This student table has 5 columns. Those column headers also we have to display. So that part also we have to collect it. So for that I am writing a small code here, L1. It is a list actually. Now inside that, R for R in my row. My row is what I have just above at line number 25. Here it is my row. This is what I have collected from the database, my row, and I will put keys. So these keys, moment I give keys, this holds the collects the header of column header, because I have used, see this, I have used a star, means collect all the column headers, so or the field list, so ID, name, column name, class, mark and gender. So this list will be collected and that will be holding in this list. Now say if I dynamically I want to change this to only 2 columns, automatically this L1 value, that is the purpose. I can directly write also. Instead of directly writing, we are taking it from our database table. So now the list is ready. Now here if you want, you can give a print command and verify what it is printing, because our student data is also ready. So you can say L1 or the headers you want to see and student. These two will print it. You can just I will save this, run it once. Was the bottom of the screen, you can see here I am giving say 8. So details, you can see here ID, name, class, mark, gender as a list. Then you can see it was the bottom. So this the list is coming. Now this will be using in our tree view. Let me comment this home. Let me comment this particular print command. I will move up a bit. Now let me add the tree view. So I am saying from here the tree view starts. So TRV, this is the name only, TTK, because we have imported the TTK tree view. Now where it will be my underscore W, my parent window, select mode. Select mode is browse. So you can watch check our tree view basic tutorial. So all the details are given there. So trv.grid, where I am placing this row equal to 4 and column equal to 1 and column span, because this will hold the data. So I am giving column span equal to 4, pad x equal to 5 and pad y. Pad y means gap from the top, pad x from the left and right margin. So this I have given. Now what I will do, some settings are there, TRB. Now what should be the height of it? So height means how many number of rows it should hold. Then you can scroll down, but here we are just getting one row only. To keep a gap from the bottom, I am just giving it 3. So now what I will do is, what are the columns for this tree view? TRV, now columns. Now these columns I will link it up to L1, because you just see L1. For that purpose we have used this L1 here, because the name of the column or the headers or the field list we want to associate with the columns. So these are the columns. Now we'll say height we have declared column. Now show headings, because we will show the headings also. TRB. Now we'll say here so, because there are 3 different option values it takes. Headings. So headings it will show. Now this is a time to set the column names and the headings also. So for that we'll loop through. For I in L1, L1 is our list of columns. Now for I in L1, TRV or the tree view, now column. What the value I am taking means this first ID, name, class, mark, like that it will take. Anchor is which side, center I am. If you want left, put it east, west, all those anchor options. So I am putting it at the center. Slightly the width here I am giving a common width, because definitely it has to, because inside a loop here it is 70. I am giving. You just based on your data you can change it, or you want a more complex logic, find out the width and then associated with it. So TRV, now same thing. Headings. Heading, what should be my heading? I again, because this should be the headings. And what is the text? That one text it should read I again, because I is the value of L1. L1 is the list holding the value ID, name, class, mark, gender. So this one by one it will text will be adding. So once inside the loop we are defining the column and defining the column parameters, width and alignment and all, and which column it is, column namer, and that again what the header of that one. So in one loop we are doing both the things. Now it's the time to insert the data. So up to this, if you will run, we'll get a blank one with the headings only, no, without any data on it. So if you want to see this, let's just run and see what it looks or how it looks. Now let's say 8. So details. Just see ID, name, class, mark, gender. This is coming because of this looping. And this L1, whatever we have created at the top 28, this here you can see that picks up this ID, name, class, mark and gender. Now we'll say that these all are a column width and headings are set. Now we'll set the data row or one row of data, that is. So there is no need to loop it. Directly we'll add that. So for that we'll say trv.insert. Parent window is blank, and where it will be inserted, okay, it's end, but it is one row only, it is immaterial. What should be the ID? Because had it been inside a loop, we would have given a unique value. Now what will be unique name of this ID of this row is, let it be 0, because it's only one. Now what is the values? Here the values equal to student. So the student, because that is the reason here to display that we have converted into a list, because list it will directly take. Here you just see here this student we have created here. So this we have used a list. I could have, if you remove the list also it will still display, but the tuple, again the brackets and all will come. That's why we are giving a list here. That's all. Our job is over. Now let's run this and see how this works. Now I am saying, say again 5. Show details. Here it is. You can see the 5, name, everything. Now let me just change this, put it something 9. Here you see. So this is the same data we are displaying on a label, and again also we are displaying on a tree view. That's all friends. This is the question asked, because earlier we have already how to display it on a label. We have discussed this at that tutorial. One question was how to integrate into a tree view. So this is the idea. Somebody wants suppose a ticket status or anything. You can just enter the ticket number there. So the entire full detail will come. In this sample table we have few datas. So only 5 columns are there. You may have more columns. Accordingly you can expand the table or window, again you can expand it and place all the details for the user. That's all friends. I'll request you please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you'll be notified as and when we add new tutorials. We frequently do that also. Please share this with your friends, and thank you for watching.